Hi everyone, my name is Carmen Fox and I'm an indie author. That means I publish my own books, mainly urban fantasy with the occasional dip into paranormal romance. Contrary to public opinion, the term indie doesn't have to mean the writing's bad. Thinking that way marks you as ignorant. Look at indie bands, they're cool, right? In fact, nowadays I read as many indie authors as traditionally published ones. Indie just means independent. For me, it means that as an author, I've thrown away the shackles of big corporations. You know, overbearing publishers who insist on paying for book covers, editing and publicity. Yeah, I get to pay for that shit myself now. That's right. Eat your heart out, James Patterson. Eat your heart out, Toni Morrison. Eat your heart out, Stephen King. I'm free. Whoa, I get to pay thousands of dollars just so people read my books. Of course, going it alone is tough, man. Readers, by and large, have no idea what goes into launching a successful book. Turns out neither do I. Others do, not I, not yet. But there's always room to learn. I take classes to improve my craft. That way you can learn all about aspects of writing, dialogue, plotting, whatever you need. And you can learn it from the very best in the field. True experts, these people, and they're teaching us through different media like videos and books. Any way you want to learn, you can nowadays, and these people know what they're talking about. Oh man, get this. Some of these people are such successful authors, they don't even have to write anymore. Yeah, videos online, that's what's so wonderful, you know. You don't have to leave your house to learn. You really don't have to leave the house for anything anymore. Wonderful, really. Sometimes I don't get out of my pajamas for days. The other day I had my shopping delivered to the door and thanked the guy. But out came that croaky little thank you. I was hoarse and I didn't even know. Writing is great for introverts like me. But not having a reason to go out can also be a problem because writing is a lonely job. I get my shopping delivered, learn online, as I said. In fact, the only two reasons many authors leave their homes are conferences and book signings. Now, if you've never been to one, conferences are weird places. They're like Comic-Con in many ways. You pack a bunch of introverts into one space and allow them to geek out over that one thing they like doing, making weird shit up. Playing Dungeons and Dragons and other role-playing games is just like writing. You're inventing characters, you know, wizards, warlocks, steaming hot werewolves. And you add a complicated yet unbelievable plot. I mean, I don't go to conferences anymore. They're too expensive. You take a plane, room with a fellow author to save money. Yeah, that's not for me. The other reason authors might leave the house is book signings. Now, if you don't know how this works for self-publishing authors, I'm going to tell you. Basically, you walk into a bookstore and beg the owner or manager to put on an event. By the way, that's one thing you learn quickly. Mostly, you pretend to be this confident person with the skills of a Shakespeare or a Nora Roberts. But when the situation demands it, you can't have scruples or dignity. Begging's just part of the job. Anyway, to put on a book signing, you talk a store manager into providing the locale for the event. The manager provides the space, maybe a table, and you provide your own books. If you're really lucky, the manager orders them for you too. In return for hosting the event, they get a cut of the sale. Easy, right? You need to promote the event though, or it's just you, the store manager, and the 60 copies you've brought along in an uncharacteristic bout of optimism. To be truthful though, indie authors don't have to do any of that. You can continue living a miserable, people-shunning, pajama-wearing existence. It's all part of being a self-published author. Some people get medical, we get agoraphobia. Traditionally published authors, as I said, don't have that freedom. Their publishers make them go to events like book signings. Yikes! I mean, if I had to do a signing, it would have to be for a book called Book Signing Cancelled. Book Signing Cancelled by Carmen Fox. Buy it now. I put up huge promotional posters everywhere And then I'd go to the coffee shop next door for the rest of the day, watching the visitors walking around confused as they're trying to work out what the hell is happening. Anyway, no matter how you got your book to the finish line, indie or via traditional publishers, the readers are the judges. To be honest, most readers you never hear from. Not a peep. It's like watching Dancing with the Stars. You put your heart and soul into the tango, you're sweaty, exhausted, but you made it. Now you're walking up to the judges, and the judges go home. No scores. What do? If all you get for your troubles is sweat and a sore foot, do you even come back next week? That's what it's like for writers if we don't receive reviews. Is it even worth writing another book? Anyway, a few readers do leave reviews, although some are unnecessarily harsh. They forget that authors are people too and ham out on anything. Too much sex in a book we refer to as steamy. Our novellas were too short. I think the favourite comment I ever got was that my book was okay, but they're glad they didn't pay for it. Why do you think that was my favourite? Because my book had never been free, which meant they downloaded a pirated copy. They stole from me, and then they admitted to it. Yeah, that was dumb. Next scene on America's Dumbest Criminals, I'm sure. Some criticism is well earned, though, and can actually make us better writers. So if you think the ending of a book feels rushed, or characters too whiny, tell us. And then there are readers who love reading and they love reviewing too. Everything they read gets 4 or 5 stars. They're my favourite readers. Surprise! I love readers who shower me with praise. Who'd have thought, eh? No, seriously. I love them because that's the kind of reader I am. Sure, some books are better than others, but comparison, well, they take place later. Hindsight's what they call it, isn't it? Hindsight. The time in your life when you know everything too late. But in that moment when you're reading, it's just you and the characters. There is no outside world. Reality unfolds in front of your eyes and you become part of the story. A dream for any introvert. That's the stage that my latest book, Divide and Conquer, is at. The reader stage. Actually, I call it the watching through fingers stage. You know what I'm talking about, right? You're watching 24 or The Bodyguard, and you can see shit going wrong. Your hand moves up to your mouth and into your eyes because you can't watch. But you gotta, so you peek through your fingers. That's what releasing a book feels like. You're convinced you messed up. Did you upload the wrong file and instead of reading an adventure, people are looking at your shopping list? How many continuity errors did you overlook? Truth is, shit happens. Some mistakes get caught, others get overlooked. And that kills perfectionists like me. I employ 2 or 3 proofreaders, but even 4 might not get it done. Once I nearly released a book that should have read canopy, as in a canopy of trees. But instead I wrote canapé, as in a canopy of trays of salmon puffs. Yep, I found it just in time. But eventually sleep catches up with you. Your body's out of adrenaline, or your significant other has been mixing Valium in your dinner. Somehow or other, the world starts turning again. You go back to writing, still no clear on what readers think or want. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this little insight into the life of an indie writer. If you have questions or comments, feel free to email me on my website. That's carmen-fox.com. If you want to give one of my books a go, sign up to my newsletter and you'll get a free novella. Or just buy one. You know, give me a reason to go on dancing. Thanks for listening and take care of yourself.